Hello and welcome to the CFO Weekly Newsletter. Thank you very much for joining me. A lot of members sending through their feedback in the last week. I didn't get to put them all in. I just put a few of them in that I grabbed just before I came on this video. Been a little bit flat out this week, but just a couple here that I'll show you, and I'll show you more. I'll go back and find, there were so many of them, but I'll go back and find some of these and show you some of the feedback that members have been giving me. And I love this. Really means the world to me. So thank you so much for sending these through, and I certainly will get to the other ones. There were just too many for me to get to right now. Hi Sean, these weekly updates are fantastic. I did not understand spreads or how to set them up until you started doing these. This is something that I've been doing for my CFO members, the cash flow option members. I show them how to actually cash flow positions that are non-directional using spreads, and this is something that I've gone into with a lot of detail to really help people understand how to make money with spreads, and a fantastic way of cash flowing a position while you hold a long-term position. So you may buy, say, a long-term call option, for example, and then cash flow it non-directionally in the meantime. When I say non-directionally, I'm saying it doesn't have to move up or down for you to make your profit. It just needs to stay above a certain, say, support level, for example, and you can make incredible amounts of money like we have been. Now I have a far better understanding, and I have set up CVX, which we recently had a very good trade on, and CAN, a Bitcoin stock that I did very well with, and close them out for profit as guided by you. Cash flow options is by far the best trading package available on the market and value for money. As an ex-bank manager, share trader, and certified financial planner of 22 years, I now do this full time and have never looked back. I share the weekly updates with a huge network of investors and am encouraging them to sign up. Well done, and thank you for providing a great service. Cheers, Craig. How good is that? So let's just have a bit of a look at some of the trades that Craig's been talking about there. So CVX, we made a very nice profit on this. We exited when it got close to 110. CAN is a Bitcoin mining stock that has done very, very well for us. We set up a cash flow strategy down here at 15. It then pulled back to here to the 21. I set up another cash flow strategy at 12.50. In other words, all I needed it to do is stay above 15 and to stay above 12.50, which obviously it did, and we made some very nice profit very quickly. We made a 55% return on this one that I set up in a week and a half, and this one here we made a 38% return in 2 weeks. So cash flowed that particular Bitcoin trade very, very well. Now, I'll show you some of the positions that we're looking to get into. I can't give you too much detail. I can't actually set the trade up and show you how I'd manage it and cash flow it and all that type of stuff. That's only obviously for paid members, but I want to give you some great information here as well, not just talk generally about the market. I want to try and help you guys out as much as I can. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. I mean, there was the spread, one of the spreads we did, 55% in 2 weeks. There it is, 55% in 2 weeks. So that was a nice spread trade that we did. So that was very nice. This is from Mike. Thank you so much for the update and all the great work and effort you put into helping people like myself and the other members in the program. I want you to know that your support is greatly appreciated. Keep up the awesome value, brother, because it's definitely giving me hope to a brighter future. Much gratitude. How nice is that? You can see I haven't even put a title in here, just sort of last minute putting this. Hi Sean, I really appreciate you explaining the spread. Very powerful, the spreads. I was more on top of it last week or so. Something must have clicked by some natural process. However, you explaining is great. Rochelle, thank you very much. This is from Keith. Feedback from my point of view, the briefs are invaluable. This is the weekly briefs that I do for my members. The ability to trade as you do adds confidence. The explanations you give really help me develop a trader's mindset. The on-the-fly trade finds and work through is fantastic. Again, it helps me understand your mindset and is gold value. Because what I do is I go through the entire process of how I found the trade. It's one thing just to give you a trading idea. It's another thing to actually go back and show you in detail how I found that idea, my thought process, what I was thinking, learning from a millionaire trader. And I think that's something that members love. I appreciate your inclusiveness in looking for smaller value trades for those of us who are just starting out or do not have a large investing base. I appreciate the effort involved. I can only say, in my case, it is richly appreciated. Please keep it up. This is another one from Keith. He only just only just became a member of CFO, and you can see some of the positions that he's taken recently with us. 191% return in 22 days, 213% return in 22 days. Pretty amazing sort of stuff there for someone who has only just started with us. Now, this was an interview that I did with Jim Rickards just recently. It's on my YouTube channel there somewhere, I think. But great feedback on this. I really did about an hour and 10 minute interview with Jim, and it was fantastic. Really good content there, and this gives you a bit of an idea. This is feedback from someone who watched that interview that I did. Dear Sean, congratulations. Video is simply excellent. One of the best videos I've seen, and I have seen many. You did a great job of getting him to speak on important matters. Thanks a lot. Absolutely. Thank you very much for the feedback. But it was a really good interview. Jim's fantastic, and it was great to be able to spend that time with him. And I really asked the questions that everyone wants to know, right? What's going on with gold? What's going on with silver? Money printing? Digital currencies? What's going on here? Very fascinating insights into what he was saying there. Digital currencies that governments around the world are rolling out, and much more about control, how they can keep more of a tab on what you're doing, right? Create that cashless society. It also leads to negative interest rates as well, because if you get negative interest rates, what do people do? Well, I'll take my money out of the bank and I'll just hold it in cash, because at least I know when I go back in say in a year's time, the same amount of money's there. If I leave it in a bank with negative interest rates, I'm losing money. So if you're forced to keep your money there by the fact that it's all digital now, that allows for scope with negative interest rates and a whole range of other things that he was talking about. But it's a very good interview if you wanted to go and check that out as well. So let's have a look at the overall market first, right? We always must do that because we are trading in the market. We need to understand what's going on. Okay, so certainly been moving up. We bounced off the 50, bounced off the 50 again. We got below it and then broke straight back up above it. If we look at our opening range here to understand whether we are bullish or bearish, this will reset at the end of this week. Right, where we set the high and the low of the first trading day of the month and the high and the low of the third Friday of the month, monthly options expiration, which will be this Friday. But for now, the first trading day of the month was here. We have broken into bullish territory. So we are bullish right now on the overall market up until we reset that opening range this Friday. So S&P 500 above its 21 EMA, opening into breaking into open range bullish territory. It's looking pretty good right now. Nasdaq up over 1% last night, so that's just recaptured its 21, which is pretty significant. Okay, it certainly had a pretty decent sell-off, and there was a lot of weakness there in technology, but now starting to move higher. All the other major indexes are above the 21. There was a lot of doom and gloom out there, and I was able to make, and myself and my members, should I say, were able to make a lot of money by playing stocks to the upside in a very conservative manner, utilizing asymmetrical risk, which is the absolute key when you're directionally trading, which is simply just a fancy way of saying you are looking to make much more on the upside than the risk that you're taking, making sure that that is a calculated risk within your risk profile. And we tell our members how to work that out, and all of our members know what their R is per trade, their risk is per trade. If we have a look here at all the major sectors that we look at, all of them are above the 21 EMA, or have just recaptured the 21 EMA, even XLK, which has been, like I say, weak recently. Financials doing very well with rates moving up. In fact, let's have a look at rates and look at bonds. HYG. Okay, so at least they have stopped selling off for now. That is, sorry, not Sorry, guys. Here we go. At least they have stopped selling off for now. Just a little bit of a move up yesterday. Still very much in a downtrend, right? Broke out of this downtrend and then started to move lower again into another steep downtrend. So I wouldn't say it's out of danger yet. And this is something that you've got to be really careful of. And I was talking to Jim about this, and obviously with the bonds moving down, the yields or the rates go up, right? So that's one thing. And when you start to get negative real yields, in other words, let's say, for example, the 10-year treasury, right, is say at 1.5%, right, the yield you'd get for holding it, right, the money you'd get for holding it. If the inflation rate, say 1.5%, you're actually not getting any money at all, right, when you look at the real rate, taking out inflation. So negative real yields are very bullish for what? Gold. The expectation that inflation will come is very bullish for gold, right? So certainly an area that we're looking at right now is for gold to start to have some sort of a bounce from here. When you look at gold, yes, you can still see it is in a downtrend since August, where it peaked there. But if you look at it like Jim was talking about, you look at this from, say, a longer term perspective, we're still very much in an uptrend. Yes, we've had a pullback here, but we're still very much longer term bullish there. And if you look at this, yes, we've had a pullback, but again, just to a pretty significant support level, I think. But in order to understand where gold's likely to go next, what you want to be able to do is look at the gold miners. What I have found in my experience is that gold miners tend to give you a heads up that gold is going to move about a month to two before it happens. So if you want to look at the gold miners, GDX, you can see recently it has bounced off a pretty good level of support. So if I just put this here, you can see that's a pretty nice level of support. Again, support's not a specific dollar amount, it's a zone. So you can see this zone was acting as resistance, then as support, and just bounced off that support level again. So we're getting the gold miners, which are, and you can see that's a pretty significant level of support there running through there. It's now bounced off that, starting to get gold miners potentially leveling out here, maybe bouncing off this support level, moving higher. They're above their 21 EMA. This could give us a heads up that gold is likely to start moving up as well. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be taking a position in the gold miners. Okay, another way you can do that more aggressively is NUGT. That's obviously gone above its 21 as well. That's looking like a potential trade to the upside longer term, right? Taking it out for several months from here. But I think now we may start to get a bit of a move higher in gold. Now, Newmont Mining is one that we are in. This is a position here that I think will do very well. Again, if you look at the support level there, you can see that's a pretty nice support level there around 55 approximately. Again, that's a zone, not a specific price. And now we've bounced off that, recaptured the 21. I think you might be able to see this move higher as well. This offers about a 4% yield, so 4% as a cash flow for holding it. People are looking for yield. Can't put your money in the bank and get a decent yield. A gold mining stock, which is a leveraged play on gold already and pays a 4% yield, pretty attractive, right? So that's a potential idea that we're looking at as well. Starbucks is another one, right? If you guys wanted some more potential ideas that we're looking at here, tends to do very well this time of year, right? The seasonality, I think this stock does well. Starbucks does well at this time of year. If you have a look at this, we do have a daily squeeze here that's just about to break out here. Okay, where you get the Bollinger Bands inside the Keltner channels, so the yellow lines inside the purple lines. Once it breaks out there, you tend to get a pretty decent move. So I'd be setting up a particular strategy there on this to the upside. I've got a very good strategy for this, and I'll show that to my members very soon. So that's definitely one that we are looking at as well, just to try and help out those people that are watching my newsletter and want to try and get some ideas. I can't show you exactly how I'd set it up and all the rest of it, otherwise my members will get very upset with me, but I at least want to give you some value here. Another one that I do like, BLU, just closed, well, has been above the 21 for some time here. If we have a look at it on this chart, you can see it's broken above the 200 as well. So where could this move to? I'll be taking a long-term bullish position in this. We can see, this is certainly a pivot point here. $5.55 could move to there, and then obviously it's got a gap to fill all the way up here at $11 roughly. Okay, so this one, some insider buying going on here as well. So insiders, corporate insiders, people that work for these companies, starting to buy up in this particular stock as well. I'm looking to trade this bullishly to the upside. DXC is another one that has potential, again has a gap to fill. Most gaps do fill, and in other words, the price going up to meet the gap where it gapped down from, as you can see there. So this is another potential idea as well, just to try and give you as much as I can. Now, as far as the overall market goes, one thing that we are watching is high yield bonds. Okay, which is what I went to accidentally before. I'm looking at this longer term trend line here. So we had a touch here, and another touch here. If we continue to bounce higher off this, I will continue to be bullish with the market. If we break down below this and start moving down, I will look to be bearish. So that is something that I'm looking at. And junk bonds as well are certainly a way of looking at the risk appetite of the market. If we look at IBB, that's another way of looking at the risk appetite. We've certainly had a sell-off there, okay, going down from around 174 down to the 200, bounced off that strongly, and just slightly closed above the 21 EMA. So, a little bit of risk on going on at this point, and something that we will certainly keep an eye on. Now, don't forget the opening range on the SPX, and that will reset on Friday, so keep an eye on that. But there's some ideas, there's some things that I'm looking at. Certainly looking for gold moving up. We are already in a silver mining stock that we're doing very well with, cash flowing it, and we've got a long-term bullish position. I hope you guys found that useful, got some great information from it. Let me know your feedback. Send it to support@cashflowoptions.com.au. There it is there, support@cashflowoptions.com.au. Let me know if you enjoyed the newsletter and you want me to continue to do it. Thank you guys very much for being here. I will talk to you again next week. My name's Allison. All the best, and bye for now.